Today, I'm so happy to share with you all my favorite versus matches that I captured for My Hero Academia All's Justice. I got to try a bunch of new characters that I was curious about going into the game, including Armored All Might, Lady Nagant, Edgeshot, Mirko, and the new Dabi. And some of these characters feel kinda broken. Now, full disclaimer, my experience so far are just the CPU matches. Playing against real players will for sure be different, but the buttons and the abilities these characters have won't change. And given my experience with One Justice 2 and other arena fighters as well, I think you're about to see some characters in this video that will be very powerful when the full game comes out. And we start with Armored All Might Shoot Style on Quirk 1, and he's got a bunch of other quirks. This one is kind of a mobility quirk with Quirk 2, and then he's got Black Whip where he sets up these drones that shoot up those wires. We're gonna have to use a combo break here. And the final quirk is Quirk 4. Just throws a little bomb. I don't know what the effect is because Miro is being very, very good at dodging it. We're gonna block it though, and that's the game plan against Mirio still. Block the invincible approach and then kick his ass. I love this play from Mirio, doing Quirk 4 and switching. That's a great showcase of how you can do a quirk skill, tag in another character, and the first character will always finish the quirk before getting away from the stage, before moving away. That is gonna give us so much freedom on how to use this tag system. It's honestly one of my favorite things about this game. Now, Gran Torino seems to have some crazy frame data. I was trying to punish him there. Dude was able to act before I was able to move. So a lot of plus unblock moves and a lot of like crazy pressure. I can't believe this actually hit Mirio. He came in from an angle I didn't think was gonna hit. Quirk 2 from Seto is actually armored. Quirk 4 is unblockable. And beautiful once again, using his quirk and tagging in Gran Torino completely safe and putting me in pressure right away. CPU is playing out of his mind as we are trying to discover more and more moves from our characters right here. Gran Torino is going to be the MVP of this match, mark my words. This used to be my main back in OJ2. I'm happy to see that the old man is doing well still. You know, we need some old man representation in these video games, otherwise, you know, who can I relate to? Lady Nagant is the first character that I'm looking at and trying out and going, oh, this is a problem. So, Quirk 1 changes the stance. You can see the stance below the health bar. It basically changes between sniper mode and explosive bullets. But the thing that I think is really powerful about her is this. This is just a square button. That bullet seems to be a glitch, by the way. It's just hanging there. It happened in a couple of matches that I've seen so far, so I'm glad to see I wasn't the only one. This is a wall splat right here. It was very, very fast. The reason why that's important is because wall splats seem to be very rare in this game now. But because there's a whole building, and not just those invisible walls that you can see right here, then you can actually wall splat. I think we all noticed the jiggle physics work that they put into Lady Nagant. Now, I do a cool discovery here, which is you cannot switch during Rising, but you can do follow-up plus ultras. So what happens if you do a follow-up plus ultra during Rising? I mean, you still get the plus ultra from both characters, but then at the end of it, it switches back to the first character automatically. You're not allowed to switch during Rising. Your character gets buffed, but that is the downside. It's that you cannot switch. She gets airwalk during her Rising. I don't think that's a big deal. I didn't get to try it either. But what I think is a really big deal is, first of all, that square button. And second of all, her Quirk 4 is something you can charge. I charge it up right here, and it is an unblockable bullet that travels and hits at a delay. Absolutely insane for setups. Monoma obviously gets out. We have a charge shot with Quirk 2. That charge shot is different depending on whether you are on sniper or explosive mode, but Mirio is definitely gonna take us down. There is some anti-zoning tech in this game, especially characters like Mirio, who can just show up in your face right away, or characters like Gran Torino, who zigzag around. So probably some very good characters to counter Lady Nagant. For as broken as she might be, I mean, having projectiles as her basic attacks, it's like, did we learn nothing from Susabaru? Finally, gonna counter this Gran Torino is being hella aggressive. Counterattack is the answer to that. We get the counter crash right away, which deals some good damage. Does not give us a full combo though. I whiff a button, immediately react to tag, because that was gonna be unsafe. And in comes All Might, and you can see how powerful those buttons seem. I really think that's going to be one of his main strengths, is just how good All Might's basic buttons are. And then shoot style, you know, shoot style Deku always had some very good priority, very good range with his shoot style quirks. And I think All Might, inheriting some of that, is immediately going to be a good character. Seto is going to be our final character. He comes in with Rising automatically. And his rising ability is actually pretty simple too. He increases the number of times he can do aerial actions. And if he lands his first quirk, that resets his options so he can stay in the air for a really, really long time. Had a kind of a tough time figuring out Seto from the get-go. Obviously, this is like the first time I'm playing all these characters and learning their moves on the fly without having done any previous reading. I did some reading before recording this video, however, to give you a better idea of what these characters do and be a little bit more knowledgeable. For instance, I now know that Gran Torino's Rising gives him some armor on a lot of his moves. We'll talk more about it after we land this full plus ultra. Big punish there. Gran Torino, not long to go before he goes down. But yes, he basically gets boosted speed from all of his movement actions. I think that includes his quirks. And super armor during dashes and air dashes. That seems like a very powerful Rising, to be honest. And this increased speed is insane. It makes it very hard for me to punish stuff. Look at that. He's just dodging immediately after hitting me with that quirk skill. Quirk skill 4, we finally catch him, but he still has one escape left. One hit away. We're trying to get that final hit, so who's it gonna be? It is Gran Torino, and he gives us the only defeat we had during this whole demo. We are playing against max difficulty CPU. I'll take it. I hate that it was against this team though, because that Monoma victory pose, man. Oof. We still have Edgeshot, Mirko, and Dabi gameplay coming up, but I wanted to take a moment and tell you guys about the first big tournament for My Hero Academia All's Justice that you can sign up if you have the game on PlayStation 5. It's going down February 14th, and the signups are open right now. The link is down below. Also, tomorrow we're gonna have some more gameplay, this time focused on the 2 new All-for-One characters, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you don't want to miss it, or you can watch it right now if you hit that join button. It'll cost you less than $1 and it supports the channel directly. But we move on to our next match where I got to try what's probably going to be the first character I'm going to try to main in All's Justice, and that is going to be Edgeshot. Immediately, I gravitated towards this character, not just because I like him in the show, but as soon as I tried him out, I was like, nah, this is actually my jam. This is actually sick. Quick air combo into counter that worked immediately. I did not know that that was going to be something Shigaraki did. Big beam right there. But look at that. Combo worked immediately perfect. I don't think Quirk 2 is the way to finish that combo. We'll see how we do it, but the CPU switching characters around a lot, just trying to preserve their health bar. So we're going to do the same. We're going to switch over to Mirko, and Mirko did not immediately click for me. This does not mean that the character is not strong or even beginner-friendly. She could be beginner-friendly. Having done some more reading on it, I think Mirko just has a lot of Rekka moves. Those are quirk skills that you have to press multiple times to get them going. So here, for instance, I do Quirk Skill 1, and Quirk Skill 1 actually goes into the air. Okay, that's a little bit awkward, but we'll play around it. That Quirk 2 gives her a knockdown. Quirk 3, I think, was armored. So it's a lot of learning. I did block that beam that time. I thought I'm going to switch to Jeanist in order to punish it, but turns out switching is not safe. You can't switch while blocking, or you can switch while blocking, but the next character will not be blocking. That's an important detail. With Jeanist, I did want to learn what Quirk 2 did, which was planting these heavy fiber containers. I wanted to know what the fiber containers did more than anything. Plus Ultra here, we get to just block that. I'm going to plant as many of these as possible, and then you just try to do other quirks, right? So Quirk 4, it's an unblockable attack. I don't think that did anything with the containers. But Quirk 3 does. It did activate the containers, and the containers are not spent. They're still in place. I don't know how many containers you can place. Let's do a quick combo into Quirk 1. Switch over to Edgeshot to preserve Jeanist's health. Big attack into switch, and this is the Quirk. Quirk 1 gives him insane mobility. Let's quickly confirm this into plus Ultra. I love that Quirk 1 so much. You can hold it down, and the movement from Edgeshot is crazy. Yeah, Quirk 1 from Mirko does put the opponent into the air. I don't know if there's follow-ups on that one specifically. This Quirk 1 is insane from Shigaraki, though. So much hit stun. He had all the chances in the world to extend that combo. We're going to try to catch Shigaraki falling down. He did an air dodge, so really good job there. And we're going to try to catch him with some armor here. Whiffing the button. All for one. Did not punish us, however. We're going to go back into some target combo stuff. Target combo did not combo into the counterattack. The Just Guard from All for One is going to deal some crazy damage. And we're going to switch over. Plus Ultra from All for One. This is going to be easy to block. But we switch over to Edgeshot. We have a full rising bar, and so does my opponent. And as he brings in Shigaraki, I believe, yes, he does trigger his own rising. I'm going to counter with my own rising too. And immediately catch Shigaraki. Shigaraki's rising is very simple. He puts that decay on the ground, so if you're touching the ground, you're taking damage. And he also takes less damage, but that maneuvering right there is the reason why I love this character, man. The movement is so good, the punish is beautiful, and speaking of Edgeshot, his rising causes him to transform during dashes. He transforms into Folder Body. That dash that you guys are seeing right there is completely invulnerable. Of course, rising runs out now, but he has basically invincible dashes. That's really, really powerful. All for one, switch into normal. Instead of getting punished, we react with our own switch. I think high-level gameplay, early on at the very least, is going to have a lot of this. You're going to do something unsafe, or you're going to get caught by a surprise switch, and you have to react with your own switch right away. So it's going to be a game of resources. A game where you have to constantly be out-resourcing your opponent in terms of switching cooldowns and maybe even rising and plus ultra. I think you can place up to 3 containers, at least that's what it looks like. The containers are on a time limit because one of them just went away. I was blocking that, but great unblockable attack from All for One. Tagging in Jeanist now. Mirko is probably going to be our last character, unless there's a switch here. I actually don't remember. But the rising from All for One actually is triggered, and this is one of the most powerful ones that I've noticed so far. Notice how much this character heals whenever he's not taking damage. He's basically immortal unless you have a Touch of Death combo, which I'm not sure they exist in this game, by the way. But once the rising runs out, he just straight up dies, and but he's been like getting kills, and the kills do increase the rising bar quite a bit. I don't want you guys to leave without taking a look at Mirko's rising as well. But with this plus ultra here, that's great time wasting. And the rising bar is just gonna run out for All for One. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're back to our victories. Now, this is a cool thing I just discovered. Here's the menu from after the battle. I thought I'm going to go to the stage select because first you select the stage and then you select the team. I thought that's what I was doing here, but because I did stage select, I basically just selected the stage. It kept the same teams. I don't know if online you're going to have this option, but look at how fast this rematch is. If you just want to switch stages and not switch teams, this could be an awesome option for online. What you want to select here is select all, and that goes back to the full selection of stages as well as characters. As we move on to our next match, and we're playing the new Dabi, along with Muscular and twice a bit of My Villain Academia here. Flame of Death Dabi, a little bit of a zoner, and it has that quirk skill 2, which is a big explosion. Quirk skill 3, a big beam. Quirk skill 1, though, seems to be his main zoning, and this, Quirk skill 4, is insane. It's kind of a zoning battle here between Seiji and Dabi, but Quirk skill 4 is so oppressive. It is kind of crazy with attack system. Big switch on block. No punish there. We are going to punish Endeavor. Father versus son. I could not resist the lore battle here. He's going to dodge our attack. We're going to block it, though. The switch over to Inasa. Inasa's got quite an interesting rising, too. He's going to activate it later in this match. You might see it. Now, the tracking on Quirk 4 is apparently not that great, so we're just going to break that combo. We're going to probably start looking at switching characters. So we're going to shoot our Quirk 4, get in there with Muscular, let Dabi's Quirk do its thing, charge up the punch. Quirk 2, look at the damage. Look at the damage on Seiji. And guys, we could still tag in for more combos. If we had meter, we could plus ultra. The damage in this game is going to be off the charts once we actually start practicing what we can do and take these characters to their full potential. Lots of switching from my opponent here. Going into Inasa, the tracking here messed up. But Inasa goes to the corner. We're going to just dodge that tornado. And we're going to try to keep him in the corner. Just applying some pressure. Full muscle. Let's see if we can hit him with the fully charged punch. Immediately switch over to Dabi. But I believe we keep that fully charged punch on Mr. Meathead. I know his name is Muscular. But it felt like a waste to just do it on Endeavor, who was so low on health. Twice still moves like crazy. I like it a lot. His mobility has always been a big selling point for me. I did try to go for a few clones here and there. I don't think I ever got them. Inasa, though, another character that's been such a menace in OJ2. Activating his Rising right here. And Inasa's Rising summons a bunch of tornadoes on the stage. It also slows down my movement speed. That's why I have that wind at my feet. And it also summons, I think, some tracking projectiles. It spawns some homing tornadoes. He's going to do Quirk Skill 1. I tried to dodge it, but I forgot that this was kind of an AoE. But yeah, trying to get in on Inasa. That's his Rising action right there. Trying to get in, it's hard because like there's a bunch of tornadoes just spawning on top of me all the time. But finally, the Rising ends, and in comes Endeavor. I love that unblockable attack. But he does not follow it up, so Twice is able to just finish things off. In comes Inasa once again. I have to deal with this Rising. This time it's the ultimate Rising. It's still the same effect, but it activates automatically as the last character comes in. I'm still very healthy on both Muscular and Dabi. This would be a good time to tag in Muscular and hit him with a maximum damage punch, but unfortunately I forgot I had it. Instead, I activate Rising with Dabi, which summons a large number of flame pillars across the stage. Opponents who touch them take burn damage. Also, he gains 2 stocks of the Flame of Death, which you can see below the health bar. When you have 2 stocks, you actually burn enemies who touch you. So whenever you're getting attacked or you're blocking opponents' attacks, they take a little bit of damage too, as long as you have those 2 stocks. I am being a bit of a suicidal maniac. I think that's Dabi's playstyle too. A lot of this damage is self-inflicted, and that's why there's a ton of red health. Quirk 4 deals a lot of damage, and that's how we're going to finish this battle right here. But that's gonna do it for today. Don't forget to sign up for the tournament on February 14. And if you want to watch tomorrow's video on All for One right now, all you gotta do is hit that join button. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.